Hi friends. All right, so as promised, we were going to talk about money issues. Um I feel like some of you are like, well, she tells us every Thursday to clean our purses, clean our wallets, do the money and says and nothing's working, right? And you're like, this bitch don't know what she talk about. And so um we're here to talk about the if for those of you that those things are not working. And those things are more maintenance things where if the money is already coming in, you continue to do that, right? It's like just like cleaning your house every week just to make sure that it stays clean, that kind of thing. But say you have like a toothache and you need a root canal, but you keep brushing your teeth thinking that that's going to take care of it, and then you get upset because it's not. That's kind of the issue here, where it might be a bigger underlying issue that Thursday maintenance reminder is not going to take care of. A candle is not going to take care of that. So with that being said, there are a lot of different reasons why you can have money blockages. And it can come from ancestral, it can come from you, it can come from a mixture. But first of all, I just want to say money is not the root of all evil, because people be trying to say that. It is not. It is expansion energy. It's an energy, and it will expand whatever is around it. And so, which is why I recommend money rituals on Thursday. Thursday is ruled by Jupiter, planet of expansion, right? So now you have like that same energy working together to expand your money. But it expands. It's a neutral energy, so it's not evil, it's not good, it's just a neutral energy. And so it will expand whatever is there. So if you're an evil person, yeah, it's going to expand that because it's going to give you more opportunities to be evil. If you are a good person, it'll expand that, right? You will be able to maybe quit your job because you can spend more time now working on volunteer work, or building a nonprofit, or doing whatever it is that you would like to do. So it goes both ways, but really it doesn't change the person. It really just expands that issue in the person. Okay, so with that being said, before we get into money blockages, I do want to show an example of how money flows freely through families, because you're probably like, ancestral how? So we think about old money, we think of like the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, right? Sam Walton, like the founder of Walmart, his family. So they come from old money. And what happens is those people only hang out with people who also have old money. So they have this energy around them already of prosperity and abundance, because everyone they are around, the people who they marry most likely are the same, and they bring in also that energy of old money with them. And so it just keeps flowing from family to family, and they don't have to spend as much because, right, they inherit estates, they inherit furniture, they inherit priceless artwork or whatever, or expensive artwork, expensive furnishings, and so they don't have to worry about spending. So their spending in those areas are less because they inherit so much more of that. So then they can continue to build on that inheritance, and then as they pass it on to future generations, they just continue to expand in this energy of abundance, right? So flip that around, and when you have generational trauma in regards to money specifically, that those blockages can be inherited in the same way from generation to generation. And so what that ends up doing is creating either a lack of abundance or lack of prosperity, where you have either issues with money or issues with your job, or you feel like you work 3-4 jobs but you don't see the money, you don't know where your money is going, that kind of thing. So those blockages need to be addressed in order for you to be able to work with your money rituals, because money rituals alone will not help you if the money just keeps coming out. So if you think about having like a piggy bank, but there's a hole in it, and so you're doing money rituals, the money's coming in, but then it disappears because there's nothing to hold the energy. And because it's an energy, it just attracts more. And if you don't have that piggy bank is broken, you can't attract more money because there's no money in there to attract. And it just becomes this cycle exact opposite of what happens with generational wealth, right? It becomes a cycle of lack. So it's about finding out what the issue is. I honestly had just recorded this and it totally deleted, like it totally, I don't even know what happened. So I don't think Spirit wanted me to get into too much detail, which is why I'm trying again, and I'm lessening the detail, but at least trying to give you as much information as I can, apparently, without getting like in trouble here. But it feels like it's almost a gumbo of issues where you have so many things that can be wrong or are wrong, because it could be one thing, it could be 10 different issues between what you have personally, how you feel about money, how your parents felt about money, and how that impacted you. And then also just tracing your lineage back via history, DNA, to understand, you know, how your ancestors based on history may have viewed money and how that may have impacted you. And then as being a child of a colonized and the colonizer, I have two big separate issues, as in one being incredibly ambitious over everything evil, Spanish colonizer, right? Where people were not worth as much as money and land and status, right? So as long as they had that, everything else was secondary. And then you have the colonized, that one didn't understand the meaning of money, right? The Tainos didn't deal with money. And then Africans who were stolen from their land, who also don't understand the meaning of money in that way, because that's not how they lived, right? They lived in community. And so so it is different. And then they were worked to the bone, right? So the indigenous, the Africans, were worked to the bone in order for the colonizer to make their money. And so sometimes what happens is that we feel like we have to work 2-3 jobs, or sometimes we feel like, yeah, we have to work 2-3 jobs in order to survive, in order to pay the rent, in order to get the groceries, in order to provide for our family. We need to do these things, which causes us to miss important events and Christmas and Thanksgiving and what have you, because we have to work and we can't spend this time with family. So the trauma can happen that way too, and it can continue to build. So, and then also just thinking about your personal issues with money. Are you overspending because you are, so say you never got Jordans as a kid, so now you're like $10,000 of credit card debt because you have like collecting 100 pairs of Jordans or less. I don't know. I don't do math. But you know what I'm saying? Like, because you're overcompensating for what you weren't able to receive as a child. And so you're almost overcompensating that inner child. And a lot of us, you know, I come from a family of immigrants. They didn't understand credit in the United States. And really, so I had to learn that by getting in debt and having bad credit and then getting out of it, right? And now moving forward, teaching my children about credit so that they don't repeat these mistakes, right? Regarding debt, because that also takes away from wealth. Debt is like the opposite of wealth. And so you have to think about these things in that way. So doing Thursday, you know, cleanups is great, but you also need to handle these big issues. And how do we handle these big issues? Well, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do, but it also comes down to what needs to be done based on your personal trauma that you are carrying. And so for something like that, that's where you would get a reading, right? So you can book a reading. We can go talk to Spirit and figure out what your issues are. Because there could be a variety. For me, there was a variety. I came from a place of lack because I saw my mom being overly ambitious. And so to me, that made me feel like there was not enough. She has to do all these things because it's not enough. There's not enough. And there will never be enough. And only you got your back. That's like the things I got from her. And because she didn't have enough, how I saw it, there was no way I could ask her for help financially. So I did. I came from a place of lack in the beginning, and Spirit had to like sit me down and go, you will never not have what you need. We will always provide for you. You have to get that out of your head. And once I like sat back and let them help me, I was able to clear my money issues. And it happened fairly quickly. But there were also things that I needed to see and to understand. You know, my Libra moon, I can kind of fall back and look at the big picture and be like, girl, you talking to myself, right? Like, girl, you messing up right here, you overspending. And obviously, if you're overspending, they're not gonna give you responsibility over more money if you can't handle the money you already have. And those were the types of conversations I was having, like with myself, to say, okay, where are these things? And starting with me and going back to go, okay, I come from this place of lack. Why? Oh, because this is what I saw growing up. Why could that have been? Oh, because this is probably what she saw, and going back that way. So that's my big money tip. If you need a reading in order to be able to understand where your issues are coming from, hit me up. You can link in bio to book. I'm more than happy to help you through those money issues. I don't know if I mentioned, I've had money issues in the past, but even in the middle of a pandemic right now, I'm remodeling my bathroom, remodeling my backyard, my tree, this humongous tree. Don't ask me how much it cost me because I was very upset, but how much it cost me to get this tree down. But I had the money to be able to do that while also providing for my kids, having my groceries, paying my bills, paying my mortgage, paying my car payment, right? So those are the things too, where you have to look back to see, wow, like I've gone from being concerned there was not enough money in the bank to get groceries to being able to do these things, being blessed to be able to do these things in the middle of a pandemic where a lot of people have lost their jobs. You know, there's not a lot of money right now being given by the government. And so there's a lot of people are out here struggling. And so getting down into those money issues so that you can get that money flowing is like the best way that you can really start building that generational wealth for you and your family moving forward. So yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. I did post a video the other day about what to expect during, like, how the way that I read and how I read using tarot and things like that. So check out that video if you haven't, so that you kind of understand how it is that I do my readings. It's a practical type of way that I read, so I don't, we'll really get deep into these money issues to see, okay, where it is, and you'll end up with homework to do, but trust me, it'll be worth it. So yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know, but I'll talk to you soon. Bye.